People that like facts and people that like feelings, welcome to a brand new video. Today, racism has ended. True, we have finally reached the end of the road where racism is no more. Not that there aren't racists anymore, of course they are. The difference is, now you can't do anything to racists. Because Peter cried racist has been a gigantic failure in modern culture, and at this point, everyone is getting completely obliterated. This is the moment where you tell the black lady that calls you a racist, I don't give a shit about what you say, you shut the fuck up now, and the lady shuts the fuck up. This is the anti-racism channel, right? We do not promote racism, however, we also do not promote anti-racism, all right? We believe in freedom of speech and equality. Now, I have to give you a bit of a backstory. This is Joy Reid. Joy Reid was a CNN, MSNBC host, mega woke retard who basically went live on TV every night and blamed white people for everything of all time. See, in my humble opinion, she has every right to do it because I believe in freedom of speech. However, she's a giant racist. She is. She has the right to blame everything on white people, just like, you know, your average neo-Nazi will blame everything on the Jews or whatever. However, that doesn't make her not a racist shitbag. So I, Lord Nuxanor, the blue equalizer, am here. And we are going to be making fun of retards, no matter what color the retard is. I'm not getting canceled for this video, absolutely. So this was her basically announcing that she was fired from MSNBC.
We begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election.
Right, so this is her saying, we laid out the stakes, Trump is a Nazi, you gotta stop voting for him, and he won!
Where one side stands for freedom, while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
Right. So she also doesn't know what fascism means, is something else I've noticed. Reading is not actually something she's good at, it seems.
Namely, a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before.
All right, so no, obviously no one has any respect for her.
Or Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities.
Yeah, what women's rights were lost? What minorities' rights were lost?
Uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class.
What?
And foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
Right, so she's a retard, obviously. She just lists every bad person of all time and is like, Trump is there too. What are women's rights? You see, because women have rights, women also have wrongs, which is why we make fun of women on this channel. Even if she's wearing the cosplay of a Q-tip, I'm still not going to, unfortunately, do anything. And surprising news, MSNBC canceled Joy Reid's show. Unfortunately, her fear-mongering, pandering, and blaming everything that ever happened in society on rich white people, unfortunately, that didn't really work out for her. And she was fired. So she released possibly the greatest crash out crying video of all time.
I've been talking to so many people, but where I land is the moment.
This is her crying that no one watches her show, because realistically, of course no one watches her show. She just goes live and tells you bullshit and lies constantly. Now, racism is so bad, guys, and I don't mean this in the bad type of racism. I mean this in the good way, because I am really glad we are bringing back a society that can actually have discussions that isn't just immediately shut down. This is not relevant at all. This is just the guy that cheated on his wife, and I wanted to humiliate him a little bit. This is a kiss cam in a show, and it went to these people. This is not a couple. This is some rich CEO and his secretary.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on.
And they're all embarrassed because they're cheating. Although this was just to humiliate him. This is not relevant at all. This is just a random Nuxanor humiliation, all right? So we just humiliate people on this channel if they deserve it. I actually have zero empathy for people cheating on their wives, it turns out. So yeah, oops, that was completely random. Anyway, this is a video of Nick Fuentes, a very, very far-right white supremacist. He calls himself a white supremacist. And he is going viral everywhere now. Like, the pendulum is swinging so far the other way because of pieces of shit like Joy Reid, right? Absolute loser pundits that shut everyone down for racism. Now you have the counter racism going and actually popping off. This has 15 million views on Instagram.
So they're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. Anyway.
So this has 15 million views. Because, you see, the thing is, the pendulum will swing in the other direction, all right? It always does. It always swings the other fucking way. That's just how life happens, right? So, she is obviously having a dynamic crash out. She was invited on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is not somebody that I, love and respect on a personal level, but he is possibly one of the greatest rage baiters in all of politics. He will find every retard he possibly can, gets them on his fucking show, and then, just has retards fighting each other. And my favorite content on the internet is actually the two retards fighting genre of content. If you like two retards fighting, you are in the right place. Definitely subscribe. And here, essentially, even a relative centrist or kind of left-leaning in many ways person like Piers Morgan actually pushes back. And you have to remember, this dude was a complete pussy, still is, but was a complete pussy when it came to actually debating any black person because they just call you racist and you lose your career. We are living in a society where finally you're allowed to speak. Freedom of speech is back and it's bigger than ever. So anyway, lock in, boys and girl. You are about to watch the bloodbath of a lifetime. He managed to get her on his show, and apparently she gets humiliated. This is literally blowing up everywhere on Twitter. It's super fucking viral. Apparently he confronts her on everything from race politics to Trump being a fascist to he even shows her the clip of her crying. I saw it on Twitter. And I am so ready to see what this is actually about. He even gets Michael Knowles in the show at some point. I don't know, bro. It's actually a fucking crazy ride. So lock in.
Do you think school children at school should have access to books in their library which involve strap-on dildos?
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be crazy. Fuck yeah, dude. I love watching the politically correct people actually have to answer rational questions because they just completely lose their fucking mind.
If the person is brown, they need to be rounded up and put into quote-unquote alligator Alcatraz.
Based! Yo! I'm gonna be way more based than Piers Morgan. I'm just letting you know in advance. Piers Morgan is gonna try to be politically correct. But no, absolutely. Every illegal immigrant, put him in alligator Alcatraz, baby. Oh, yeah.
Concentration camp in Florida. If the person is white, we let them start a business and become Elon Musk.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
3 million!
I don't know and don't care.
Oh, you don't care? Of course you don't care.
Why not? You don't know and you
Hang on!
You don't care. The majority
this is gonna be cinema. Cinema!
In disingenuous argument, Piers, because this is your shtick.
It was your
shtick. And everyone
it was shtick. Have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
No.
Are you posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex? Your words, not mine, Joy.
Oh, he pulled up ancient receipts. What are you, homophobic? Oh, God.
And your point is?
I've actually got Michael Knowles waiting in the wings.
Great.
He fucking ambushes her and everything. Nah, this is diabolical.
Is there anything you'd like to say to it? The MAGA base is at war over the Epstein files, but hostilities have not ceased on the Democrat side either. This week, former President Obama told a DNC fundraiser that it's time to toughen up and stop whining, navel-gazing, and being in fetal positions. He urged Democrats to stand up for the things that you think are right. The problem, of course, is that Democrats don't agree on what they think is right. They are only united in saying that Trump is wrong.
That's literally the only position they've had for years. Oh, my God. The left isn't the party of the people, the party of less taxes, of more taxes, of social... It's the party of Trump bad, and that's never going to work, guys.
That point was illustrated in colorful language by former CNN host Chris Cuomo.
I don't give a fuck how many likes you get on your comments by hating Trump, because it doesn't win the race. You get 44%. That's what just happened. Trump sucks, doesn't win the race. My frustration is with you thinking you keep doing the same thing, which is just pound on this fucking guy, which is easy enough to do, but you don't win the race. So now what you're doing is doubling down on Trump sucks by outrage and making your own MAGA. I don't think it's going to work for Democrats.
Well, 8 months on from the election, it's not clear who is leading the opposition or which direction it will choose. There are the pragmatic centrists like Josh Shapiro and Pete Buttigieg, who are socially liberal but hyper-focused on electability. And there are the radicals like AOC, Bernie Sanders,
yeah, that's not going to happen either.
who want to burn it all down and start again.
Yeah, that's
Many
not going to
people,
happen.
myself included, saw Trump's victory as a culmination of a huge backlash to identity politics and its unhealthy obsession with racial justice.
Guys, woke is dead. Racial bullshit is over.
It's woke activism and demonizing opponents. Many people, including myself, saw Joy Reid as a strident advocate for identity politics.
That, I'll translate, a retard. All right? If your fucking position is identity politics, you're retarded.
Exhibiting an unhealthy obsession with racial justice, woke activism, and demonizing opponents. But she can respond to that because Joy Reid, who hosts the Joy Reid Show on YouTube, joins me now. Joy Reid. Well,
wait, she moved her show to YouTube after getting fired? Wait. We got to see this. I'm guessing she gets no views. That's my guess.
We all see what's happening today.
Because no one actually gives a shit about her. Oh! Wow, dude! Oh my god! She was the host of one of the biggest shows on MSNBC. Oh, Lord, she can't crack 10K. Oh, yeah, no one cares what you have to say, lady. Silence a black woman's talking? More like silence. You get it? You get it? Because no one's... All right.
Welcome to Uncensored.
Piers, thank you for having me.
Well, we've never met, I don't think. We've never spoken to each other. I think we've locked horns a little bit on social media in the past. I think I'm blocked by you on X. I can't remember what crime I
sensitive little bitch
committed, but probably Trump related. Just first of all, what Barack Obama has said and what Chris Cuomo said there, has that given you pause for thought about what the Democrats should now do? Because it's all very well just shrieking constantly about how evil Trump is.
True.
But it clearly hasn't worked now twice.
True.
You know, the fact that the guy went away for 4 years and then came back and won again was an utter repudiation of the tactics to beat him, wasn't it?
Well, first of all, I'll say I have not blocked you on X Twitter because I haven't been on X Twitter since Elon Musk acquired it. I actually left the platform, so there might be someone
wow, huge flex. You're a pussy.
Posing as me who's blocked you. So
I think it was prior to Elon's purchase.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're a fraud.
All right.
Nice.
Well, so this is an interesting conversation because there is no one who is more obsessed with racial identity politics than Donald Trump. He ran the most racial identity politics laden campaign that I've seen in my lifetime, and I've been following politics since
His entire thing was no DEI. His entire thing was we are treating everyone based on merit, not treating people based on race.
I was
Confession through projection. Holy shit.
12. The point of his campaign was...
You look at his coalition, man. He's got men, he's got women, he's got Indian people, he's got everyone.
If I was to sum it up, that immigrants, whom he identified as gang members from Venezuela, as people from S-hole countries, as essentially any non-white migrant or immigrant in the country.
Wrong. It's any illegal immigrant in the country. If they're in the country illegally, they should leave.
Were vermin who were poor.
Vermin? Wow. Wait, you cannot say S-hole, shithole. Yeah, you cannot say, bro, you cannot say that Trump ran a campaign saying that brown people are vermin. What? That is like literally misrepresenting everything crazy hard.
Poisoning
illegal immigrants in the country should leave.
Talking about criminal illegal immigrants. He was talking. Well, hang on. He was talking.
Hang on.
This is my point, though. This is my point. Let me just say something, Joy. I remember when he won in 2016. I was at the New York Knicks the next day with my eldest son, and Chris Rock was there at the next table. And we got talking. I said, "Why do you think Trump won?" And he said, "You know why?" He said, "If someone's murdered 8 people, stop going around saying he's murdered 9. And he didn't mean Trump had actually murdered anyone. What he meant was, there's plenty to criticize Trump about. I've done it myself many times. But there's also a lot of stuff that resonates with people. And I think it's the over-exaggeration, the over-demonization of Trump is part of the problem. And your characterization of his depiction of immigrants, you said the word immigrants, actually what he was talking about repeatedly immigrants. On his stump.
You know what? Illegal invaders, okay? I don't know why everyone's dancing around calling them what they are. They are invaders into our nation, okay? That's what they are. They are breaking into our country illegally. They are invaders and they should be removed. I don't know why this is controversial. It's not. I'm sorry. Illegal invaders, bro.
In his rallies was specifically illegal immigrants.
Yeah, if someone breaks into your house, you get them out of your house. All right? That's not someone you invite to your house. It's a very different thing.
Who come in illegally, who are criminals, who are already convicted criminals, who've come into America across the southern border in huge numbers, who are criminals. He wasn't talking about non-criminal immigrants, as you tried to put it there. So there is a difference.
You are a disingenuous, lying bitch, and everyone knows that, and that's why your show got canceled.
No, first of all, it's absolutely false. Let's talk about, for one example, the Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
These are people who were in the country on a legitimate visa, who are actually improving that community by taking jobs desperately.
Are we really doing this, guys? Really, bro? Really? Come on, dude. Like, let's not make believe this is true. Like, improving neighborhoods, bro? What are we fucking talking about, bro? Like, come on, dude.
Where people desperately needed to hire and did not have any, enough American-born employees, and they were hiring these folks. They were taking badly needed jobs. They were improving the community economically. He accused them of eating people's cats and dogs. He characterized them as if they were animals. These are people.
He did not say that they're animals.
Who his own
administration. It's crazy how she'll just so easily lie.
Had allowed into the country on a legitimate visa.
But I agree with you.
First of all, let me just.
But I agree with you.
So his all-encompassing term about immigrants being vermin and poisoning the blood of the country was all-encompassing because it included them. And in his mind, it included anyone who he said came from an S-hole country, meaning if you came from Nigeria, if you came from the Gabon, if you came from any country in Africa. He in a blanketed way depicted immigrants, again, with Nazi terminology, vermin.
Well, let's leave Nazis out of it. Whenever people...
let me finish
but Joy, it's taking you what? It's taking you 4 minutes.
He's just yapping.
What we're seeing are...
Are Haitian neighborhoods statistically safer or less safe than white neighborhoods in America? There's this whole thing. Poverty can make more crime, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so safer or less safe? One word answer, less. I don't want to be controversial here or anything. But yeah, they're not out there improving America. That's not a thing. And also, he's not calling people vermin. All right, this is insane.
Are masked federal agents.
Oh, they're wearing masks. Masked federal agents. We don't care about the masked quote-unquote protesters that are lighting cop cars on fire and shooting ICE agents. We don't care about those guys. The masked protesters that are looting stores. No one cares about them. But masked agents that wear masks because they are getting harassed by the media and doxxed by the mobs of people.
Sweeping up cooks, abuela.
Illegal cooks, illegal abuelas, all right? These are illegal grandmas that have invaded our country, and they should have self-deported. I'm sorry. There is no reason why the law should only apply to people that aren't cooks or grandmothers, all right? This is an incredibly hot take, but I don't actually... This is coming from a man with a lot of empathy. I don't give a shit, okay? Having empathy for the cruel is being cruel to the innocent. The number one fucking rule for every American politician should be to do what's best for the American people. That is so fucking basic. You unbelievably uneducated oaf. Like, this is crazy, all right? The abuelas. Yeah, they invaded my fucking country. If an abuela broke into your house and stole your food, I assume you would not be too happy, all right? I'm sorry. This is bullshit.
People who work on farms, picking up dishwashers, any brown person, and
any brown person? What are we doing, guys?
Tom Homan said, based on one criteria being their appearance. It's overwhelmingly brown and some black people. We're not...
Like, what are we doing? Yes, the majority of illegal immigrants are brown. That is not my problem. That's not ICE's problem. It's not Trump's problem. It's a fact. It's literally a fact. The largest border crossing into America over the last 4 years was Mexico. People poured over the Mexican border. Most of those people are brown. Like, I don't understand why this is supposed to be some sort of an actual argument. It's like, I can't believe it's mostly brown people. They broke into the country. That's their problem, man. Why are we doing this? Stop with the emotional blackmail. And that's why her show is dead. And that's why this is over. Because the race card doesn't work anymore. The race card is over. What, you're gonna call me a racist for saying that most of the people that illegally broke into the country are brown? You know my response to that? I don't care what you say. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. You're a retard. A bald retard.
Seeing them sweeping up white folks on the street, Donald Trump ran...
Well, there are more brown people that are in the country illegally. That's life, whether you like the statistics or not. Statistics are racist, guys.
Racial identity campaign. And yeah, this is America. That is appealing to, unfortunately, a lot of Americans.
Well, actually, it turned out to be very appealing to Latino Americans who
Latinos voted for Trump.
For him in record numbers. More Latinos voted for him than voted for Kamala Harris, the non-white candidate. More Black Americans, African Americans voted for Trump this time round than first time round.
True.
So for
Not
this,
true.
for this,
Statistically, it was the same.
No,
Same number of Black
it was
Republicans
actually
voted for him. That's always
more
do.
Black
No,
Americans
same.
voted for Trump
Google
this
it.
time than
It's
last
the same.
time.
It was the same. And by the way, this is the other challenge. There is a phenomenon, and my family are immigrants. And there is a phenomenon among immigrants of slamming the door behind themselves. And more like...
So you're saying that the reason why the Latinos voted for Trump was to slam the door behind themselves?
And by the way, more Latinas, women in the Latino community voted for Harris.
Yeah, because most women voted for Harris. That's just kind of how it always works. Women vote left. That's just a statistical truth. Listen, I'm not saying that the 19th Amendment doesn't have its drawbacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, that was a joke. Comedy is legal again.
But there is a phenomenon. If you talk to people who actually are in the community and study this and spend a lot of time on it, journalists who studied it, there are a lot of Latinos who want so badly to identify with Americanness that they identify against fellow immigrants. That is not a new thing.
No, but maybe they weren't identifying. Maybe they weren't identifying. But Joy,
that's not new.
Maybe they were just
blackness. And
maybe let me respond to
the
that.
Latino community is not new. It's
let me respond to that.
Exists.
Maybe they were just sick and tired of people like you, and I say this respectfully. But
I don't say it respectfully.
People like you constantly calling Trump.
By the way, just for fun fact, I feel like I need a fact checker in real time because she's completely insufferable. Like, this is insane. Which Trump election did Trump get more black votes, 2016 or 2024? One word answer, 2024. So she lied. There were more black votes that went to Trump in 2024. Just fact checking her in real time here.
Nazi. Maybe they thought it was ridiculous.
Don't call people vermin and say they're poisoning the blood of our country. That's not.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Don't use it.
You have repeatedly over the last few years called Trump a Nazi. Now, the Nazis were the most despicable, awful human beings we've seen in 1,000 years. They murdered 12 million people, 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Trump is not a Nazi. So
and
when you do that,
I'm really glad that he's pushing back on this, to be honest.
Let me finish.
You've just done what you normally do. I have said he uses Nazi terminology, and that's a fact.
Right.
Friend, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco.
Oh, so you said that it's the textbook definition of Hitler's Germany. Oh, sorry about that. Black woman speaking. I shouldn't correct her with facts and logic, I guess. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Saying people are poisoning the blood of our country, that is Nazi talk. That is what I've said about Trump. I will stand by it, because if you're calling people vermin and saying that they're poisoning the blood of our country, you are lifting language out of the Nazi playbook. That is very different from saying that Donald Trump is perpetrating a Holocaust such as in the 1930s.
Right.
But what he is doing is straight fascism. That's not me saying it. Mark Milley, his former Joint Chiefs of Staff chair, said that he is a fascist to the core. His former chief of staff says he's a fascist. And the things he's doing, masked men snatching people off.
These people are retarded, by the way. Like, the emotional blackmail is insane.
The street. Not even
the Democratic Party is breaking every law that they possibly can, getting involved with doxing and revealing the private information of different ICE agents. They tell people to fight back against ICE agents. The governor of California has essentially been on the side of violent rioters, looters, and protesters that are illegally blocking highways and shit. ICE agents are putting their lives on the line to capture illegal often violent terrorists to remove them from our country and homeland. I am not going to lie to you. I understand why they wear masks. I don't understand why people in protests wear masks. That I don't get. They're supposed to be following the law. However, the ICE agents that are putting their bodies on the line to protect our nation, those guys are actually putting their lives on the line. Because fucking retard, borderline terrorists, far left fucks feel the need to dox them and harass their families. I think that that is abhorrent, despicable shit.
Even showing any identification as law enforcement.
Let me ask you a question.
Men dragging women.
Let me ask you a question.
Women! Emotional blackmailing bitch.
Children into vans. Fascism.
You've made this point.
Up. I will stand by that.
Oh, arresting criminals? Fascism. Arresting criminal women? Fascism. In vans? Bro, like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we playing this game? Stop calling them random men, women, and children. They're criminals that broke into our country illegally and are being removed in accordance with the law.
Let me ask you a question about immigration. It's a very interesting topic at the moment, as you rightly observe. What are the fruit you eat to stay healthy? Somebody who is an exceptional alien is how it's described on my visa to the United States, but I have a home in Los Angeles, and I love America. I've lived and worked there for 20 years. My view is that most Americans, I think instinctively, do not have a problem with the principle of deporting undocumented workers who commit crimes in the United States. Would you have a problem with that as a policy?
As a policy, if people get a hearing and they go through a process,
answer the question.
Sure.
Hearing and go through a process. All right, so let me explain to you the process. All right, I'm actually going to explain the process to you. Okay, if they're in the country illegally, that's the process. Now you remove them. That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That is not what's happening.
No, I'm going to come to the next bit.
Hold on, that is not what's
Joy,
happening.
I'm going to finish my point.
It's not what's happening.
I wanted to see what you were prepared to agree with me about, because I think it's healthy to the debate, right? So we both agree about that, which is good. Now, I don't think that they should have pressed the button on deporting as many illegal immigrants who are there undocumented, but who've not committed crimes in the way that they're currently doing. That they should have sorted, first of all, people who are in the country illegally who commit crimes and deported them. Everyone would agree with it. But I agree with you. The wholesale pulling of people off the street who may have been in America for many years, got families in America who pay taxes in America. You only have to talk to farmers to understand the devastating impact this may have. So,
with all due respect, this is why I think that Piers Morgan is a bit of a pussy as well. No, all of them gone, please. Sorry, they're in the country illegally. Remove them. Huge L, Pierce. This is why I find him he constantly needs to sit on the fence on everything. I agree with prioritizing, violent criminals and stuff like that. Absolutely, prioritizing that. But the goal is everyone in the country should be in the country legally. Just like if I speed through a red light, I get a fucking ticket. They enter the country illegally, they should get the fuck out. Hot take, get them out. Farmers should not have a say over the law.
On that, I would agree with you. But I also think that, and I hope you would agree, that Donald Trump has pretty much stopped completely the number of people coming over the southern border
True! Huge W. Unfathomably big W.
Legally. And under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, over a 4-year period, as many as 10 million people.
Some are saying 20 million people
are believed to have come over the southern border illegally. Now, you must surely think that the Trump way of securing the southern border is better for the United States.
Right. You can't. This is undeniable. Anyone that thinks this is a bad thing is a retard. They failed the retard test.
Biden way.
First of all, if those are Donald Trump's numbers about how many people...
You're literally in the news. How do you not know if that this is true? This is confirmed by every fucking border guard in the country. How do you do this? It's like, I am super skeptical about reality, but, listen, did you misgender somebody?
People came in over the southern border. I don't buy them at all.
What numbers do you buy?
Anything Donald Trump said.
What numbers do you buy?
Let me go on.
Well, how many do you think it was?
Let's just say it was.
Oh, he's pushing back.
Joy, how many do you think it was?
No, let's just say I'm going to stipulate.
Yeah, she's a propagandist. Absolutely. She does not care about reality or the truth whatsoever. It's all about emotionally blackmailing people.
Let's just say it was 10 million people. Are you asking your viewers to believe that 10 million people were in the country raping and robbing?
I don't care. If there are 10 million people in the country illegally, then 10 million people should get deported. I'm sorry. I don't think they're all rapists, but you know how many rapists are too many? One. If one of them is a rapist, it's too many rapists that are in the country illegally. America has to deal with our own rapists and murderers. I'm sorry. I don't care. The emotional blackmail does not work.
Rather than working on farms, working on construction sites.
No, I didn't say that.
We have to recall that there, so again.
All right, so how many, okay, this is what you should ask her. Okay, so how many women getting raped by illegal immigrants is acceptable? How many is acceptable? Is 100 women getting raped good for you? Like, is 100 okay? Like, is that the limit? Once more than 100 women are raped, then are we allowed to care? But less than 100 women, we don't need to care? In my opinion, the answer is 0. And every single person in the country illegally should leave. It doesn't matter at all. I'm sorry.
Being in the United States without documents is a civil offense. It is not a felony.
It doesn't matter. The policy should be, if they're in the country, legally leave.
And so the reality is, if it was 10 million people, we have to ask ourselves, what is the pull? America has always run, from the time that people who looked like me were enslaved on
such wildly manipulative language every single time. Completely irrelevant point to add to the conversation. You just need to add the little bit of emotional guilt.
On cheap labor, on free labor to start itself as an empire.
Oh, so she's now advocating for slavery. So it's good that we have cheap labor, illegal immigrant slaves. Fuck yeah, baby! The libtards on the side of slavery once again.
And then on a constant pull of cheaper and cheaper labor. That is a pull that is pulling people over. And then, of course, there's the push of...
Remember how people care about the economy, right? The left is supposed to care about the working class. Unless you want to get a job, in which case, fuck you, because that's going to be, you're going to be replaced by an illegal immigrant that's going to be paid less. Cheap labor.
The destabilization in Central and South American countries, that is the push. That push-pull is a fact of life, and it was a fact of life when Donald Trump was president the first time.
But what's that got to do with how many come over the southern border?
Great
No,
point.
the difference is now, if you, let's say where you end all undocumented migration to the United States, all that would do is put a burden on the pull part of it, because you have industries that desperately rely on farm labor, on construction labor,
But why shouldn't you have it?
Fuck them if they're hiring illegal people in the country. Let them hire Americans. I don't know why we're doing this. Like, this is crazy. Back on the Democrat plantation, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not an
Okay, but Joy, why?
Yeah, your argument is bullshit. You know that? Hire Americans. Fucking cope. Wah, wah, we need slaves. Wah, wah.
Raising it to 0 does nothing to change my life.
Joy,
for the better.
why shouldn't
but
people?
But what it's done is
why
you're
shouldn't
having
people? Let's ask you, why shouldn't people do what I had to do when I wanted to live and work in America?
Like, it's diabolical that you hear these fucking people, on the left especially, being like, no, leave my multi-trillion-dollar corporation alone. They need to hire slaves.
I mean, let's go through a proper process.
By the way, there's something called a work visa. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
And get accepted to be allowed to come into the United States. That is how a normal, well-controlled border works.
True.
So what you seem to be suggesting is that because America's economy needs a lot of workers, we should simply have a system where anyone can come in. And if that's not your belief, then how would you regulate the southern border?
I'm going to say to you that if the policy were applied the same across the board, that would be one thing. It's not.
It should be. Everyone that comes into the country illegally should leave.
Rubio's grandfather didn't do it the right way. He overstayed an order of deportation.
Oh my God.
Stayed anyway.
Oh my God. Sins of the grandfather. This is unreal. What does that have to do with anything?
And was allowed to remain in the country. Elon Musk's brother says, and Elon Musk disputes it, but Elon Musk's brother said they overstayed their student.
What about that one guy that didn't get deported? No one should get deported now.
Visa, started a business which would have been illegal for someone on a student visa. Were allowed to stay. They are white migrants, and somehow that was okay. What we're seeing is...
Yeah, but slavery was legal, right? So if we're really going back and worrying about that, then I think we should just bring back slavery too, right? Remember when slavery was legal? Yeah, absolutely. That was a thing back in the day as well. Good point. We should remember back then. So
a selective enforcement of this outrage. If the person is...
What, you want them to deport Marco Rubio's dead great-grandfather for overstaying his visa? Really? What are they? What should they get the shovel and start digging, bitch?
They need to be rounded up and put into quote unquote alligator Alcatraz, a
Based, by the way, based as shit.
concentration camp in Florida.
Concentration camp. And again, listen, for someone that cares so much about offending people, calling it a concentration camp when it is an air-conditioned place that sends people to their homes and isn't torturing and murdering people is a little bit disrespectful to the millions of Jews that were killed in concentration camps. I'm just saying. It's a little bit disrespectful of you. A little bit disrespectful.
If the person is white, we let them
For the record, I wouldn't care if it was anyone else that said that.
start a business and become...
It's just because I want to, like, her whole fucking business is bullshit, you know? That's literally her entire career.
Elon Musk.
I should be careful with what I say. I mean, I'm not trying to flex here or anything, but I literally get 100 times the views that she does on my YouTube channel. I am so much more relevant than this bimbo. It's actually crazy. It's actually sad. Wow. It's actually sad.
What's happening...
Hey, Joy Reid, I'm the media now.
...is that Stephen Miller has said he wants 3,000 people a day rounded up, and he has said he doesn't care where they have to get them. He wants ICE going into Home Depot. He wants them going on construction sites, going onto farms, and
based
dragging brown people and
that's a skill issue, man. Why are we doing this?
To detention. They're not.
If they're illegally in the country, I don't care what color they are. I don't care if we're dragging transgender brown gay people out of the country if they're here illegally. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's a them problem. They should have self-deported or not even entered the country illegally in the first place. It's a skill issue, bro.
They're putting people in private prisons that are unregulated by
unregulated. How many people died in those prisons? I mean, you're calling it a fucking concentration camp. How many people died there?
Federal government. We've heard stories of people eating rotten food, having to use.
But you still haven't told me what you would do.
For the restroom and
the same water they use for the restrooms, guys. Oh my God! Do they brush their teeth and piss in the same room?
So the reality is what we have right now is we have a system of literal terrorism against...
The literal terrorism are the people burning cars and attacking police officers in LA.
Brown migrants simply because Stephen Miller...
Why does she keep saying brown migrants? Again, she really thinks the race card is going to affect me. I am immune to race card bullshit. It doesn't work anymore. You've tried it, you've manipulated it, you've gotten people canceled and harassed and all that garbage for fucking years and forever, banned on different YouTube platforms. None of this works anymore. The era of emotional blackmail and just calling people racist has ended. That's over. Wake up.
Does not want them in the country.
As you know, they're not all brown. True. As you know.
Well, the vast majority are.
Well,
but that's a them problem.
You haven't answered my question. Also, if you were running the southern border, if you were in charge, if you were the border czar, what would you do? Would you let them all in, or would you stop some of them coming in?
The first...
by the way, a shout out to people like Joy Reid, who are more than happy about the 300,000 children that went missing at the southern border over Biden's term. Shout out to you. It's definitely someone that cares about the people.
First thing that I would do...
Brown children went missing at the border, by the way.
...is to look at some of the actual legislation that's been put on the table before. You have a very...
You mean which failed?
...small number of immigration judges who deal with people who are presenting themselves for asylum, which, by the way, is perfectly legal. It is legal to present yourself for asylum, but there are
Yeah, so let them present themselves for asylum, as opposed to, you know, break into the country.
There's scarcely any judges doing that work. Multiple times, bipartisan, members of Congress, the House and Senate, have tried to pass legislation that would increase the number of those judges. If you actually had enough people to adjudicate asylum cases at the border, it would make that easier.
Oh my God, you really think that 20 million illegal people are in the country, all of them because of asylum? If you think so, then you're fucking retarded.
Been to the southern border and looked at the process and looked at the previous version of detention that Donald Trump...
Speaking of previous version of detention, did you know that Joe Biden made cages in the middle of Arizona and left illegal immigrants to rot in fucking cages in 110-degree weather in the sun, in cages outside? That's inhumane. Putting people in alligator Alcatraz, that's based as fuck. There's a difference.
Did in his first term. First of all, it was horrific, and it was abusive even then to children. But
he was outraged by
the children.
Barack Obama's deportation program.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And I think that Barack Obama made some compromises that I do not think were morally sound in order to try to lure Republicans into doing the immigration reform.
Do you know how many
Obama deports people and she blames white people. This is a mental illness. Okay, this is actually a mental illness. Obama deports people, and she's like, well, the reason why Obama deported people was to make the white people happy. She's blaming white people on a black man deporting brown people. Are we on the same page?
people he deported?
Since Marco Rubio, Gang of Eight.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in
3 million, by the way. Barack Obama was the deporter-in-chief. He deported 3 million people.
8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
How do you not know this? How do you not know this?
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well,
you
hang
tell
on,
me.
hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given...
She just hates white people. She doesn't care. You are literally the worst reporter of all time.
Because it's not the issue. You're
hang
trying
on,
to make
hang on.
You've just given me... Joy.
Hang on.
Joy.
Joy. White man speaking. We exist again.
You've just given me...
Obama
Joy.
was not dragging women
Joy.
and
Let me finish.
And,
You've just...
nursing
Joy.
babies.
Nursing babies and brown people and children. Oh my God. Actual fucking retard meltdown.
Joy. You've just given me...
You've just Joy. It's your main issue.
You've just given me
but it's not my main issue. My main issue is that what we're seeing...
She doesn't stop.
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've just given me a lengthy monologue. Monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you, there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America...
She literally ran a huge show on MSNBC while Obama was president. She didn't know people were getting deported.
On a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many...
I mean, to be fair, she was sucking his dick pretty hard, so I don't know if she actually noticed. I don't know.
How many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me, I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each 2 million.
3 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
Dude, did you see her swallow? Wait. I'm sorry. Look, I'm something of a philosopher when it comes to body language. Look at that.
I think each 2 million.
Look at that gulp.
Right, it was 3 million.
Whoa, did you see that? I'm sorry, man. That's amazing. That's incredible. I have never seen that before. That's fear. You just saw fear. Holy shit. She was like she almost had a heart attack.
Okay. And your point being what?
Okay. Immediately tries to go fucking reporter mode.
My point being...
What do you mean, what's the point? You're cooked, lady. You're a fraud. You're a fraud and a racist.
Are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
All right. Ad for penis medication because Piers Morgan can't get hard.
Wait a minute.
The majority were brown.
One moment. It is not deportation in and of itself that is what is shocking to people.
You are like so disingenuous, it's insane.
There are 2 things that are shocking. Number 1, well, I'll do 3. 1, it is not deportation to...
Remember the photos of kids in cages in the sun? Remember that?
Render someone to a third-party country they have no connection to.
They did that like one time. Okay? Like one fucking time.
Rendering...
And they brought the guy back, by the way.
To El Salvador is shocking.
And that's why he's coming back.
That was not done by Biden.
That's why
they literally did that to one guy by accident and they brought him back. And also, that guy was from El Salvador. They just weren't supposed to deport him to El Salvador, but they did anyway, which was literally where he was from.
By George W. Bush. All right. So that.
And that guy was a violent, wife-beating terrorist human trafficker. Okay? Another thing that's important to note. That guy was caught human trafficking, allegedly beating his wife, and part of a terrorist organization. Like, is that really the hill you want to die on?
That is shocking.
Yeah.
Number 2,
that's why he came back.
People with deporting. Well, that's only one person. They deported more than 200
the case you're talking about, he's come back
to that gulag Yes, but they deported more than 200 people, 70% of whom CBS has determined had no criminal record
But why
whatsoever.
are you changing the subject?
They broke into the country illegally. They do have a criminal record.
Deportation
No,
policy.
I'm telling you, the three things that are shocking are not deportations themselves. It's deporting
I love how she has to change her entire fucking, like, worldview because of that random little Obama factoid.
people, number one, to third-party countries like the Sudan, where they have no ties whatsoever.
All right, so where should they go? Like, why should we keep them? Like, what is the argument that we should keep them in America? If they're not able to go back to where they came from, which they should have done themselves, why should we keep them? The answer is we shouldn't.
However, simply for the cruelty of doing it. Essentially,
It's not done for the cruelty of anything, okay? It's getting them the fuck out of our country because they shouldn't be here.
paying
Okay,
third
but
party
I asked you about your response to Obama. Obama deported more people than any president in American history.
She just doesn't stop yapping. She is not used to being interrupted or any pushback.
receives peers. My family are immigrants. If there's a deportation process, at the end of that adjudication, you are deemed to be deportable and need to be
But
deported.
you're missing my
That's a
point, Joy.
process.
Boy, I'm
That's not
trying
what's
to.
shocking.
I'm trying to.
This is
politely
literally irrelevant. Well, like, what are we doing?
Obama having a process
do you condemn?
is different from what we're seeing now.
But here's my point. In the interest of fairness, do you condemn Barack Obama's deportation policy, given that he deported more people? Let me finish. More people than any American president in history in his 8
What
years.
an absolutely disingenuous argument.
Hey, do you condemn this? You disingenuous white man talking down to me. You're white, and I'm supposed to listen to you, white man?
Because what people are yes. No, I'm gonna explain it if you'll
You
allow
didn't
me.
even know I
It
meant
is disingenuous because I just said, first of all, I think it was a moral compromise that I disagree with vehemently.
A moral compromise.
Moral compromise. You know what's a compromise to? The white people. Obama deporting people, that's a white person issue.
Made to try to lure Republicans who were never going to really come to the table.
It was to lure white people. It's the white people's fault. Yeah. Obama deporting 3 million people, that's because of the white people.
Immigration reform. I disagree with what he did, but there was if there's a process for deportation, that's one thing. If you are rendering people with no process, if you are rendering them to third parties, and if you are kidnapping them off the streets,
No one's getting kidnapped. There's no kidnapping. Definitionally, you don't understand something. Kidnapping is going up to a child and taking them, you know, and capturing them where you do not have the legal grounds to do so. Deporting people that are illegally in the country is the law, and therefore not kidnapping.
as if this is 1930s Germany.
Again, remember how she said that she's never calling them Nazis? She doesn't call Trump a Nazi. Anyway, everything he's doing is like, what, 1930s Germany.
Or South Africa in the 1980s. Yeah, that is what I find objectionable and I find fundamentally fascist and will stand
It's
by
fundamentally fascist when you arrest criminals.
that every day. What Donald Trump is doing is a moral horror.
I hear you.
And if you can't see that...
Yeah, I don't think she has any moral ethics or clarity at all. I think she is one of the most immoral people I've ever seen. Just a propagandist there to lie and manipulate people. I think you are someone that violates 7 of the 10 commandments. I don't think that your moral clarity matters, to be honest.
I don't know what to tell you.
I hear you. All I tell you is that Obama deported a hell of a lot more people
But that
than
isn't
Trump,
the issue. The
and
issue
most
is,
of them were
was there
brown. And last
process for
time I checked, Barack
deportation?
Obama isn't white. So it's not, may not be
And
a
what does
race
that have
thing.
to do with Obama
You're
being black?
telling me.
Now you're the one obsessed with race. You want to...
She's talking about deporting brown people for the last hour. Now you're the one obsessed with race.
make this a racial argument. The argument is that the Obama administration, because Donald Trump,
You said Trump
attacking black
is
people,
deporting
attacking
people based
brown
on their
people,
skin color.
Well, it is what he does. He
Right.
I love this. This is peak. 2 retards fighting, and one retard is much bigger than the other. This is amazing. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
So
racial
did
politics
Obama.
As a matter
Oh,
of
this
course.
cinema.
Obama did-
Cinema. Glorious crash out. Do you believe she was a host on MSNBC for like 20 years?
Only worse.
It's what his politics were all about.
Okay.
His politics are about removing as many non-white people. Clearly,
What the fuck? It's about removing illegal people. If the illegal people are all not white people, then you're the racist, okay? You're the racist here.
from the country as they can, 3,000 a
And
day.
that's what
That
Obama's
is
policy was
apparently
too.
the policy
Based.
here.
That's what
That's
Obama-
it.
Based.
No,
Only-
it was not. And there
only
was
here-
Get them out.
As we sit here-
Get them out.
As we sit here-
And you know that it's materially
As
different.
we sit here,
Yeah, no, it's not materially different. In fact, I think the only conclusion here is that Trump should be deporting more people. That's what I'm learning from this discussion. My only conclusion here is that Trump is not deporting enough people.
Obama deported more people pro rata per year than Trump has
How
ever
many
done.
did he
And
render
Trump
to
had done.
party? How many did he render to a third party? Because what he's also doing
You're
is
outraged
using
by
the
Trump, but
cruelty
you're
of
not
the
outraged by Obama.
I'm absolutely outraged by fascism and by snatching
but
people
Obama
off the
wasn't
streets.
a fascist because he's not.
Absolutely,
yeah,
I'm
and because
outraged by it.
Obama's got
Absolutely.
brown skin, he's not a fascist. Is that your policy?
Well, that's your simplistic, racialized way of looking.
I want to move on.
Trump is acting
I don't want to
like
spend the whole time talking about this.
Person that bathes the way he does, trying to take people's citizenship away, denaturalizing. That's Idi Amin behavior. There's a black.
Bro, there's literally, it's a law. It's literally a law. What are we doing?
Fascist that you can compare it to.
Okay, let's move on to. I want to just play a clip of when you lost your job at MSNBC.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe he humiliates her like this. It's gold. It's gold.
My show had value, and
clearly not.
That what I was doing had value, and in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. Whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object to little babies being bombed. And
how can you fire me when there's literally a genocide?
I'm not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God.
What?
And you know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Yeah, you were fired because no one was watching your show. I don't want to be rude here, but the reason why you were fired was because you suck. Like not trying to be rude here, but you were fired because no one was watching, man. It has nothing to do with anything you said. If you would have said bullshit and gotten ratings, they'd have kept you. You have to realize that. They keep gigantic frauds in television. They don't care. Just want to make this obvious. And in case you're curious to see how much pull she actually has, you have to be acknowledging that you're kind of irrelevant.
Now, look, you're perfectly entitled to be proud of your show. Many people enjoyed your show for many years. You know, a lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason was declining ratings post the election, a 47% decrease in your election, in ratings.
Yeah, everyone's a church girl after they get fired.
From pre-election. But you told Mark Lamont Hill on his show this.
After I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians, that Ukrainians are white. And so
oh my God, how does she do this? How does she turn everything into a racial thing? This is diabolical. This is absolutely diabolical. Everything is a race thing, according to her. Everything.
White people get their schools bombed was, hit different.
Okay, and another reason why you're retarded is because the protests for Gaza are literally 10 times the size of the protests for Ukraine. I don't know what country you've been living in.
That hit our ratings. I mean, it definitely, we could see.
You're literally talking to a guy with a shirt that says the future is black and feminist. Well, this guy clearly invested in the wrong future.
The loss of white viewers from that moment that I said that. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman. So, I mean, I'm sure it makes him angrier, when I say things. Maybe because I am a global South person myself.
Oh my God, your entire fucking content was saying that white people are bad. Why would people watch that?
I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other global South people.
So you're saying that black people have more empathy for black people? Isn't that inherently a racist thing? See, I have equal empathy for everybody, which makes me a non-racist. But black people have more empathy for black people? Is that what you're saying? Isn't that just like racism?
When they are suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news business.
No, Joy, I mean, look, Let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin color or because you're a black woman.
Of course not. That's retarded.
I think
There's no racism in America anymore, inherently. There are racist people, of course, but as far as on a broad scale, it doesn't exist anymore.
Because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Pierce, that I find it actually quite charming.
You racialize.
What? She said she was fired because she's black. He's like, you said you're fired because you're black. and she's like, how dare you call me black?
There's more
It's
conversations.
No,
this is diabolical.
Any host in history.
All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize, because this is your
racialize? He's asking you about specific things you said. Huh?
shtick, and I get
Is he supposed to play you an hour-long conversation?
that this is your
Are you
shtick.
racialized everything, Joy? Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game recognize the game. I get your
Not
game.
my shtick.
And the bottom line,
It was your
It is your
shtick.
shtick, and everyone
was
knows
your
that it is.
Look how uncomfortable he is that he was called racializing. You see, if someone would say to me that I'm racializing thing, you know what my response would be? Lol. And, like, who cares? Like, it's over, bro. It's over.
Piers,
Straight into the ad hominem attacks to cope.
we
people got
understand
bored
what
with
it is.
it.
And it is so interesting to me that
I love how she just is acting like she won a fake argument that she invented in her head.
you yourself, as a white European, find that when people
Actually, he's not European, he's British, because Brexit, they're no longer... Okay.
of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversation.
So when black people talk about race, it's not racializing things, but when white people talk about race, it is racializing things. Cool. So you're a racist, and you're stupid also.
But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you,
Bro, that uncomfortable laugh.
you can't put your... And
This is crazy. You're actually retarded. Like, you are a racist fuck.
I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it
Not
is because
see
you're the
your
one.
own-
You're
Well,
the one
you
who
and
said.
your
You're
friend
the one who
Donald
said
Trump.
Donald
You
Trump.
and-
I am allowed to racialize people because I'm black, says the racist.
Donald
You
Trump,
said Donald
you and
Trump
your
is a
friend
white
Donald Trump
fascist.
Are so he is a well. I agree
And
with
yet
Mark
when Obama
Milley,
did the
who
same
was,
thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed
black.
to mention his skin
I agree
color.
with his former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist. And Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. So
Okay.
I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with two very white gentlemen about Donald Trump's fascist tendencies.
Okay.
If
So she's saying that she's allowed to call Trump a fascist is because she found a white person that called him a fascist. So it's not racialism because it's a white person that called another white person a fascist. See, this is why this movement is dead. This is why woke is dead. All right, this is why it's over. This is why we won. We, as the fringe outcasts of society that made edgy jokes, have survived. And this corporatized juggernaut of a fucked up worldview where you're not allowed to say certain things because you might offend retards is dead. And that's why she has no career. She was fired from MSNBC and she's irrelevant on her new show on YouTube.
that makes you sad and uncomfortable, I can't help you.
No,
Piers.
it doesn't
There's
make me
nothing
sad
I
and
can do about
uncomfortable.
it.
I think it makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's different. Now, President Trump reacted to your departure by saying, low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of ratings-challenged NBC and MSNBC, has finally gotten the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid, based on her ratings, which were virtually non-existent, should have been canned long ago, along with everyone else who works there. What's your response to that? Many of us...
This video is sponsored by my Viagra.
It's fascinating to me that you think it's important that I care what Donald Trump says about me. It's a badge of honor. If he dislikes me, then I think I'm doing something right.
Good
I have
shit.
zero respect for Donald Trump, and therefore, if he feels the same way about me, then the feelings are quite mutual, and I'm very, very proud of that and happy
All right,
with it.
good for you.
Okay, I want to play...
Remember when she was crying like a little bitch? Remember when strong, independent woman was crying like a bitch? Sorry.
A clip. This is you talking about, you're attacking parents. You spoke out about their concerns about gay and paedophilia pornography books being placed in school libraries.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read?
What a
Expertise.
tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for
do.
you.
What the fuck is she arguing to put an anal rape pedophilia book in an elementary school?
In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school?
Never. It's never acceptable. Sorry. It is literally never acceptable for public school. Like, what is with these hedonists? Bro, she's a Christian girl. She goes to church all the time. Anyway, kids, let's read my strap-on dildo porn.
I mean, that's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
We're talking about public school.
One moment.
All right.
Holy fuck, man. That is diabolical.
Now, there's also a second clip. This is you talking about Republicans exploiting concerns by minors who identify as transgender. And you said this was an old age tradition which Nazi Germany did. Let's take a look.
In fact, there are more kids who have been exposed to gun violence, estimated at 3 million, than there are transgender Americans of all ages in total. Targeting trans people isn't new. It is an age-old tradition, which Nazi Germany did with brutally violent ends in the 1930s.
Oh my God, everything is Nazi Germany. Literally everything is fucking Nazi Germany for this lady.
Now
this is fucking crazy. Like, this is actually insane. Also, you have to realize there's a big difference between owning guns and transgenderism. Owning guns is the Second Amendment. It is literally what America is based on. All right? There's no fucking trans genocide, okay? We don't want kids to cut their balls off because we're normal humans.
Confusing part of all this, Joy, is what you really think about the LGBTQ plus, whatever it now is, community. Right, because as you know, when you started commentating about this, appearing to be a big ally, a lot of stuff emerged which came from posts that you had purportedly put up in a blog between 2007 and 2009, one of which said, most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. Another said, I don't want to watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain talking about having sex. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. You referred to the then Florida governor as Miss Charlie.
These people are so pathetic.
The tag gay politicians.
These people are so pathetic. So wait, so he's pulling up like an ancient blog post of hers where she said it's awkward to watch gay people kissing? And he's like, haha, gotcha, homophobe. That's crazy. This is pathetic.
Now, you said at the time when all this emerged, I genuinely don't believe I wrote those hateful things.
Because give me a break.
Alien to me.
Get out of here.
Cybersecurity experts to see if somebody manipulated my words or my former blog. And the reality is they've not been able to prove
she was
it.
hacked, guys.
Now you're not at MSNBC. Now you're on your own, doing your own thing, and you don't have to worry about repercussions and stuff. Are you prepared to finally come clean and just admit that was your blog and you did say those things?
You know, Pierce, I might have known that you would use this opportunity and interview and that this was your purpose, right? This is your purpose. And that's fine. This is your show and you can do whatever you like. You know, I could sit here and...
Oh my God, she's claiming that he's secretly ambushing her to... Bro, what the fuck? He's interviewing you.
Go on and fight with you about your strange, weird obsession with Meghan Markle, but I won't do that because that would be rude. But what I will say is...
if you want to.
We can do that as well.
Sure.
But the point being that I was very open with my employer at the time about what happened with that old site, which I stopped writing in, before I even came back into the NBC family. And what I have not really talked about publicly, but what I can tell you is that I had a very legitimate reason for being concerned about it because I was also on the radio at that time.
What?
And the things that I was literally talking about on the radio were quite the opposite of the things that were in that site. That is the reason that we began investigating what was going on with that site. And there was also someone
no one's buying this.
I do not know, who I still do not know, who had login access to my site for years that we did not even discover because I hadn't looked at the site for years.
So someone hacked her account for years, guys.
I don't know who that is. I don't know why they had access to the site, but had I not been open about that, I would have been definitely fired or, there would have been some repercussions. I was open with my company about that.
So she's saying she lied because otherwise there would be repercussions? Cool. I love journalists that do that.
I've been very open. Everyone who knows me knows about it. And so if you want to argue with me about an old blog site, that's fine. And I'll take responsibility. And hold on. And I'm willing to take responsibility for anything that was on that site.
Did you say
for you?
Did you say those things?
It's really a yes or no question here. I don't know. I don't need to hear your past backstory about how you were tap dancing in high heels and accidentally had sex with a woman. I don't care.
Listen, what I'm going to say is simply this. What I'm going to say is very Pierce.
You know you did.
The point that you're attempting to
You just spun me an absolute flannel.
The reason that you are trying to go here is that you're trying to defend the idea that Moms for Liberty and these other organizations...
Just because I sucked the dick of my employer to get a raise, it doesn't make me a whore, Pierce.
And it can take books that are not pornography, that are not pornographic.
I am willing to take responsibility by not answering your question and talking about something else instead.
I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to see whether you like to hold people to account, and I'm just trying to ask you
held myself to account
questions
for that,
about
and I
you being held to
apologized for
account.
everything that was in that site, and I took responsibility for everything that was in that site, and I still take responsibility for everything that was in that site. I find anything that harms the LGBTQ community that was in that site repugnant. I apologize for it. I take full responsibility for it.
Okay, so she wrote it.
But the point
now, can I tell you my really hot? Okay, I'm gonna give you my hot take later.
The point that I made in my conversation with the woman from Moms for Liberty is that they are making themselves the expert on books, which they are deeming pornographic by using a site called booklooks.com, looking for words in the book that make them uncomfortable, and then attempting to ban books by the hundreds.
And out of interest,
based. There should not be fucking explicit sexual books in fucking high school. What are we talking? Yeah, we shouldn't have porn in school. Hot take.
Okay, but just to be clear. Just to be clear.
And so I asked her,
do you think books, all right, do you think school children at school should have access to books in their library which involve strap-on dildos?
Oh my God, that's such a crazy way to ask that question.
You're taking a book that has multiple subjects and you're taking this award-winning book.
Okay, you're all so stupid. The answer is no. There is no context that books with strap-on dildos should be in elementary schools. There is no context ever. Literally never, ever any context that it should be in school. Okay, that's my answer.
And dumbing it down to
I just asked you a simple...
What do you mean dumbing it down? It has it there. It has it in the book. Yes or no?
You may feel uncomfortable. And the bottom line is...
I think she's a groomer, guys. Guys, I think she's a groomer.
These books that were published by publishers who had an opportunity to say no.
Oh, good job, guys. The publisher said it's okay. The publisher said it's fine. So I don't really care anymore.
Looked at these books. These are award-winning books, and I think parents should have the opportunity to opt their children out if they don't feel comfortable reading those books, but that children who are...
You think every parent reads every book that the school gives the students? You're retarded.
Old enough and who are of age and can choose the books they want to read.
How old is old enough? 12?
And may feel seen in a book that you might object to.
Feel seen in a book about strap-on... This whole feel seen thing is bullshit, okay? All right, I think that children should not be learning about, like the transgenderism, transsexual stuff until they're, much older. I don't think so. They're kids. You don't need to put any of these sex things into their minds at all. I think it's groomer shit. I think it's unacceptable that it's become somewhat accepted in society to tell kids, hey, read this book about anal rape and pedophilia and strap-on dildos. Do you feel seen in this book? That's some bullshit. That should absolutely not at all be at all in any curriculum. That's insane.
Ought to have the opportunity to read that book. It shouldn't be mom's. I think each parent can make the decision for their own children, and I don't think that woman from Moms for Liberty or her organization should make that decision for other people's children. People ought to make decisions for their own children. And by the way, one more thing I'll add.
Christian girl over here wants kids to read about strap-on dildos and anal rape.
The state of Florida, parents can opt their children out of reading books that they don't want to read.
All right, let me ask you.
She could have done that like any other parent.
I don't think that there should be fucking government-sponsored grooming in schools. Sorry, hot take. I think it's ridiculous. It's insane.
Have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
No.
Okay. I mean,
what is the point of that?
Well, because you said I don't want to watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain having sex.
Okay, so what does me watching Brokeback Mountain have to do with that book, whether or not it is
with the book?
That book that people can have the opportunity to read if they so choose.
No, I'm not talking about the book.
Organization
I'm not talking about the book.
Can make a decision. It is not about the movie. It is about whether or not Moms for Liberty.
I'm not talking about the book.
Next topic, lady. You were just cooked on a new topic. All right? You didn't want to see a gay love story because you hate gay people, I guess. Oh, well.
Who should make decisions for other people's children.
I'm not talking about the book,
whether
as you know.
I watched a movie or not.
Hot take, I wouldn't watch it either, to be honest. I wouldn't watch it either.
It makes absolutely no difference.
I love how she's such a pussy that she's not able to admit that, yes, she's uncomfortable when she watches gay sex scenes. I am uncomfortable when I watch gay sex scenes, which I don't watch, to be honest. I don't like it either. I'll be real. I don't like watching people making out either. I don't like watching people making out, especially, in my opinion, personally, as someone that's attracted to women, two men making out. Yes, I don't like watching that either.
Talking about you posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex. Does that make me
I think that's valid. It's a valid point.
Homophobic. Probably most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. Your words, not mine, Joy.
Oh, shit. These people are such, like, fence-sitting pussies. You have every right to be uncomfortable with watching men kissing. I don't know why this is even a gotcha. You people suck. Everyone's such a coward. Oh, my God, what are they going to call me homophobic? Fucking losers.
And your point
they're such cowards.
That maybe that makes you a bit of a hypocrite when you're taking the position of being an ally for the LGBTQ community.
This is such gay shit. It's unreal. They're both pathetic. We're back in two retards fighting territory.
And actually, the best way to handle it, I would argue, is just to say, you know what? Actually, I did write that at the time. They're not my views now. I've learned, I've evolved, I've moved on. Trying to pretend even now that you didn't write it is preposterous. And I think you know that.
The bottom line is what I've said, and I will say it again, is that I take full responsibility for everything that was on that site.
Oh my God.
I'm deeply apologetic for the things that were on that site.
Deeply apologetic for saying she's uncomfortable watching men kissing. You're such a pussy. These are such fake losers. No one's apologetic for any of this. You're just scared you'll be labeled a homophobe. See, I don't care what people call me, so I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like watching men kissing personally. And if you think that makes me homophobic, well, that's a you problem, isn't it?
Hurt people, and I take responsibility for it because it was my site. And that's the end of that. And my views, as you know, and as I've said on television, on air, are quite different from the views that you just read. And that's the end of that.
Okay. Let's just end with this. Not everyone was upset when you were fired.
That's true. I was happy when she was fired. I actually had a glass of wine. I broke a bottle of champagne open. It was a good day.
Plenty of those white conservative men that you like so much seem quite happy. Let's just take a look at this clip.
Joy Reid, probably the nastiest figure on MSNBC. The most left, the most vicious against conservatives and white people and men and all the rest. She has just been canned. Fired, kicked to the side of the road.
Bye-bye.
Her show is over.
Based.
This saddens me a little bit because I did not yet have the opportunity to go on it. I am celebrating that there is no longer a market for her disgusting product.
100%.
That's what I'm genuinely happy about.
Oh yeah, dude.
There has been a major shift. Her show and shows like her show no longer have value.
True.
And that's not just because of Joy Reid's favorite villains. You know, the evil white man or the Christians or the conservatives. It's because, like, no one watches her show.
True! She's irrelevant. She's completely... Oh, that face. This is beautiful. This is
so,
cinema.
Joy, I've actually got Michael Knowles waiting in the wings.
Oh, great.
Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
No.
What did you make of his critique of your show?
Well, I mean, the reality is that obviously people watched the show.
Well, no, obviously not enough people watched the show. That's why you were fired and why you have no presence on YouTube.
And obviously that's the reason that the show was on for 4.5, nearly 5 years. So if he didn't like the show, I guess, sorry you didn't enjoy it, but I really am not that interested in his views on it.
Okay, well, we've got Michael there. Michael, anything you want to say to Joy?
Yes, wonderful to be here. Joy, very nice to meet you. And I guess I would agree with Joy's take. People watched the show in the past tense, and now there's no longer a market for that absolutely vile content. And I think that's good for the culture broadly.
Based. He's right. Completely correct.
We can all chat on Pierce's show.
No lies. True.
The reality is, Michael, the content that you and Piers like to trade in is grievance. And the
grievance? Your entire content is... Remember how the black people were in slavery a few hundred years ago? Yeah, well, white people are still pretty bad these days, too. That's literally your entire show.
Grievance that white Americans have, that they have to deal with.
I'm not American.
Diversity.
But this isn't a grievance.
I'm British.
I'm sorry. And by the way, white grievance is very good for your bottom lines. It's very good for your bank account.
This is crazy.
And so having me here to be able to continue to traffic in that is your shtick. That is what you do.
First of all,
that's
Joy,
what you do, Piers.
I have to
and so
correct you.
it's great. And I'm sure you find it delightful and fun to say it. But the reality is, Piers, that is what you all traffic in.
I have to correct you.
Well, first of all, white American. I think it's my accent may.
I know that you're European.
And
I'm British. I don't think anyone. Michael, I will let you respond, but I don't think any host in the history of cable news has waged more grievance than Joy Reid. So the idea that you're now...
Bro, her entire fucking show was literally white people bad. You owe me because I'm black. Even though I am an immigrant and my grandparents weren't slaves, you still owe me because I'm... Like, this is crazy.
Lecturing us about feeling aggrieved about things. You spent years being aggrieved about absolutely everything.
Excuse me, but your favorite president, the president who you completely support, is nothing but
My
grievance.
favorite president was Abraham Lincoln.
Was grievance. His entire campaign was grievance.
Bro, the entire Democrat campaign is Trump bad. Okay, you have to realize how insane this is. The entire Democrat campaign is Trump bad. Their campaign was grievance. Trump wanted to close the border, put tariffs. He had a whole lot of things he wanted to do.
Well, your former boss on the Apprentice,
not Donald
or whatever
Trump.
you want to call him, your friend. The bottom line is that Donald Trump's entire campaign was about grievance. It was about white America feeling they'd lost their country and they need to take it back. It was about white America.
She literally lives in her own planet.
America feeling that diversity was a threat to their children being able to go to Harvard. Their
And you know
grievance
what,
that
Joy?
inclusion-
It was! It was a threat. You're right, because they would take, less qualified people for position. Yeah, you're right, true.
diversity. And that is the reason.
You see, Trump is actually anti-racist, it turns out. Because you see, the thing is about him being anti-racist is he's against racism. The whole anti-white racism thing. Yeah, Trump is against that.
In the end,
He's the least racist president I've ever seen.
You all glom onto him
and in the end,
use him to further your own agenda.
most Americans, as you know, most Americans, having voted for him in 2016, and after Trump spent 4 years in the wilderness, and we watched the Democrats run the United States of America, people took a look at that in America, and then they voted for Trump second time round in bigger numbers, including a record number of Latinos, who last time I checked were not white. Anyway, Joy Reid, I'm going to leave it with you. Thank you for coming on.
Just kicks her off the show.
Uncensored. Next time, I'm sure we can move on
Yeah, she's never coming on again.
from the stuff we've talked about today and have a more current debate, perhaps, about other issues. But I appreciate you coming on and facing the music, and it's good to see you. Thank you very much. Well, let me come. I've got Michael and Nina Turner. Nina.
Yeah, I don't care. That was amazing. I'm sorry. That was glorious. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was cinema. Holy fuck, she got steamrolled. She really thought she could pull the race card every single time. She really thought we're still living in 2020. That's unbelievable. That shit's over. It's done. It's actually done. Yeah, well, anyway, that was really fun. I'm going to wrap it up here. But that was glorious. This downfall needs to be studied because it's truly beautiful. Subscribe for more crash outs and downfalls. This was amazing. This was truly beautiful. This was everything I've ever wanted. You could be based again. This is a glorious thing. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you immensely. And of course, more retards will be destroyed tomorrow. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.